Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's time to wake up and tune into your daily Boss FM news. I'm Kristian.
And I'm Meghan.
And today we're talking about the new COVID death rate set today. New York City cuts ties with Trump. And why didn't that happen sooner? Let's talk about it.
Wake the streets up.
Good morning, Kristian. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing. The sun is shining here in Atlanta, and as long as I got some sunshine, I can make do with everything else.
It's still pretty cloudy over here, and as always, very, very cold. But we're getting through it. Winter's almost over, so.
We almost out Chi-Town. Y'all gonna make it.
Exactly. Yesterday, we talked about Chad Wolf resigning from his position. Today, we have New York City severing ties with Trump. New York City is cutting all contacts with the Trump organization. This comes a week after the riots in the Capitol. The mayor of New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio, said, quote, "If a company and the leadership of that company is engaged in criminal activity, we have the right to sever the contract," end quote. And after what Trump did at his rally on Wednesday, the mayor decided that that was a criminal action. Trump likes to call New York City his home, so this should be quite a blow for him.
Now, he does have hundreds of businesses there under the Trump name. That the New York City Central Park Carousel is owned by the Trump company, and there's multiple skating rinks along with concessions. So it is a big enterprise, and I'm hoping that the right people get the contracts after this.
It is going to be really interesting to see if any other cities pick up this thing.
And we know with inauguration coming up this week, national security is at an all-time high, and we know Republicans are responsible for that. And including in last week's insurrection, there's 3 Democratic senators who actually come out and said that they have now tested positive for COVID-19. Amid the chaos of last week's attempted insurrection, Democratic House member Pramila Jayapal is saying that she's now tested positive for COVID-19. And her reason is due to her Republican counterparts not wanting to wear their mask. The House has approved fines for those who choose not to wear a mask during House congressional floor meetings, with $500 being for the first offense, and then it going up substantially to $2,500 with multiple offenses. These, of course, are all ways to try and slow down the numbers and spread of COVID-19.
When you're put in a situation like that where you need to be in a tightly enclosed room with a bunch of other people, I feel like the best thing to do is put your mask on. If that's not what you believe, well, you're wrong, but you are pushing your beliefs onto other people because these people have to be in the same room as you. And now
Absolutely.
We have 3 people who are testing positive, and this disease is no joke. Just because some of the Republicans might have had lesser symptoms does not mean that every other person who tested positive will.
Yes, and looking at the people who are affected, these are not young people, respectfully. It's more dangerous for elders. And I can speak from experience. I had COVID, and my experience was relatively mild. I lost my sense of taste and smell, but if that's what it was, I'll take it. Like, that was fine. We know that the Republican Party has been stoking the flames of this Stop the Steal followers for months at this point. And now we see nationwide that states are preparing for potential violence leading up to Inauguration Week. Meghan, do you have more on this?
Yes, I do. Some states have enacted the National Guard in response to threats of violence on Inauguration Day. The FBI released documents explaining that all 50 state capitals could receive serious violence on Inauguration Day. So a couple states have already added the National Guard to their regular security on these capitals. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine activated 580 National Guard members to prepare for the 20th. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz did the same, also bringing the National Guard to St. Paul in lieu of the threat. The FBI sent a memo to Minnesota that bombings and violence might erupt on the Capitol in St. Paul. The memo also stated that some Trump supporters found places where police snipers will be during the event and that they might bomb those buildings as well.
This is absolutely crazy. I read the account of a police officer from the riot last week, and he said that these people were trained. These are former military people.
It is only 6 days until Inauguration Day, and I'm starting to get more and more worried as the time goes by.
Right, and as we said on yesterday's show, Chad Wolf just resigned as the Homeland Security Secretary. And this, as we continuously tell you, this week, according to the FBI, is going to be dangerous.
While we are dealing with serious threats of violence around the country, there is another threat to our safety. Kristian, do you have more to tell us about COVID-19 deaths?
I do. And for the second time this year and the second time since the pandemic has started, the United States has set another record for having 4,000 deaths, which is the highest number of COVID-19 deaths in a single day. While those numbers do sound grim, this is not shocking. The numbers have steadily increased over the holidays, with more than 1 million people traveling to see their loved ones. As we've previously reported here on Boss FM News, states like California are limiting the amount of people that can be brought in by EMS transportation to ICUs. We know the beds are extremely limited, and this is probably something that's going to start happening across the country. And yes, we are going to lighten up the mood for you guys today. We know we have burdened you down with all the heavy stuff. So let's tune in for our new segment, which we're going to share with you our playlist to get you through the day.
Some of the songs I picked were actually from Sampa the Great. I picked Approach with Caution, which is not their song, but a song that they're featured on, and Energy. Two great songs. They have great beats, wonderful message. Energy has a very feminist spin to it. You can never go wrong with those. And other things you can't go wrong with is a little bit of Frank Ocean and a little bit of SZA. Even though Frank Ocean has not released music in a long time, his songs still slap, no matter what year it is. And the last song that I suggested was Lockdown by Anderson .Paak, which is a new song that I've been listening to recently. It's become one of my most played bops. How about you, Kristian? What songs did you have?
One of my favorite artists just dropped a whole new project, so I'm not just going to give you one song. I'm going to give you the whole project, which is The Hotels by Jasmine Sullivan, and it's not like the garden tool. It's not spelled traditionally, so we can say it on air. It's fine. The whole project tells a story. It's just a tale of freedom. We'll say that. That's the best way to explain it. And the other project that I really, really enjoyed this year for 2020 and now moving to 2021 because it's still on repeat and here while I'm working is Victoria Monet's Jaguar project.
Well, if you want to check out Kristian and I's playlist, it will be on the Boss FM Instagram page right after this episode is released.
Yes, everyone, and that is it for your Boss FM News this morning. And while you're in your app store, go ahead and download the Boss FM Digital News app so you can rewatch our shows morning and evening. I'm Kristian.
I'm Meghan.
And you guys have a great day.
Yeah. Okay.